Give it up for your first comedian. He is a very funny stand-up comic. You can see him all over the city and New England and apparently ESPN. Give it up for your first comic, Joe Leonardo!
Everybody, how we feeling? Feeling good? Great. Feeling a little out of it. I just came back from Madrid, Spain. That's fucking cool, right? Yeah, because I'm dope like that. I like to travel. Traveling's great. The only thing I really like about traveling is the flying aspect of it, though. I don't really like the destination. It's the flying. I don't really get how people hate flying. It's basically just like sitting in a chair for 8 hours and watching mediocre movies to yourself. It's pretty much exactly how I do any office job, right? Except now with a neck pillow. I really don't get like jet lag either, you know what I mean? Especially if I go west, because you lose hours when you go west, you know what I'm saying? I don't really get jet lag. Instead, I just like wake up at a reasonable time. That's it. Instead of getting up at 2, I now get up at 8. So thank you, airplane, for making me a productive member of society. Anybody here Portuguese? Yeah, that's the response I was looking for. I'm 100% Portuguese. When I say 100%, I mean like both of my parents came from the same tiny Portuguese island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean called Santa Maria, Azores. So both my parents, my mother and father, the whole family, came from this tiny island in the middle of the ocean called Santa Maria. They all came from a tiny town in that tiny island called Malbushka in Santa Maria. And one thing I learned is that if you do a 23andMe test and your whole family is from a tiny island, the results you get back, they're not complicated. You kind of save your money with that one. You can pretty much fit everything on the subject line of the email, like Portuguese. I don't really have like a family tree. It's more like a family stick. It's not much branching out there. I actually visited Santa Maria a couple years ago with the family. It was great and fun. One thing we did while we were there is visit a cemetery, because on a tiny island, there's so much to do. So we visited the cemetery, and one thing I learned is there's only 3 last names on the entire island, which is upsetting when you think about it. And that's where I learned, and this is true, that my parents are second cousins. Thank you, thank you. I don't know why that got an applause. It kind of made sense, because I did think everybody on that island like looked the same, but I thought I was just being racist against my own people. Turns out I'm inbred, so better? I don't know how that one works. Both my parents are English second language, they're ESL, so I help them out with like bills and stuff like that. I'm the one who takes care of that for them. And I'm currently helping my mom with medical marijuana. She wants to get involved in medical marijuana, and I am dead set against it because I don't want my mom to be cooler than me. Don't want that to happen. I was doing some research on medical marijuana, and one thing I learned is that they didn't change the names when it became a medicine, so it still has its like street drug names. My mom could be prescribed something called Golden Goat Kush. Shouldn't be a thing. I feel like when you become a medicine, you should have like medicine names, right? That's like graduating college and keeping your college nickname when you get your first real job. No one wants the head of sales to be Butthole Ben. You call yourself Benjamin Boutal. That is your real name. No, I like being Portuguese though. I really like it. The only thing I don't like it is that I'm hairy, but only from like the waist down. I look like I got dipped into puberty. The rest is just kind of being a boy. Yeah. I'm trying to keep myself healthy though and stuff like that. I just got my dog. He became an emotional support animal. That's nice, right? Yeah, so which means that the state of New York has officially made it that my dog, who gets a boner every time he's scared or excited, is now officially more emotionally stable than me. That one's sad to say out loud. It's true. I was having an argument with a coworker today about Donald Trump. Everything's coming out with him. Yeah. We both don't like him, but we have a disagreement about him. And we had a big disagreement, and I want to ask you guys and see if you guys agree with me. So he claims that when Donald Trump got elected president, the world got crazy, right? And I do not agree. I think the world became crazy, and therefore Donald Trump was elected president. And here's the argument I made, right? Okay. So imagine it's 10 years ago. What do you think is more true? It's 10 years ago, 2010, that Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, or that Jonah Hill gets 2 Academy Award nominations. Because both of those are true, and both completely insane. At least with Trump, he's always talked about wanting to be president, right? Even though it was very unlikely. But I guarantee you, nobody back in 2010 was thinking, while watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall, that Jonah Hill, Oscar contender. I don't think he can really do it. All right, guys, my name's Joe Leonardo. Bye, everybody.